Can I get a Big Mac? Would you like that made of raisins or pretzel sticks? They're from Old Sac.
Yeah, fuck off. All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Main engine start.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike P. Waworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most. From the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A News and Conservative Views. Craig, guess what day it is?
Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Gotta love hump day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as I like to say, the fun is all in the trying. So, Mike, how are we doing today? How successful have we been thus far in beginning our weekend?
Having a little bottle of my Tito's right here.
Tito's. Tito, give me a sugar. Give me a tissue. Give me a tissue.
Tito,
Jermaine, stop teasing. Stop teasing, Jermaine. Oh, good stuff.
Poor MJ.
You know, so I saw, now I wish I had saved it. So there was a person who had a picture of a tattoo and it was called the Mike Trifecta. Okay. And it had like Michael Jackson with the Mike Tyson tattoo wearing a Michael Jordan jersey.
Oh, that's pretty good. Right there.
I was like, what?
That's a crossover movie if I ever heard one. That's yeah.
That's a conversation piece. Those are three of the most prolific Mikes ever.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that'd have been a good movie. Yeah.
that'd have been a scary movie right there. That would have been definitely a scary movie.
Let that guy take on Jake Paul.
There you go. Can't do any worse than Mike Tyson did.
No, definitely not.
Oh man, Mike! Before we get into the news stories, I just real quick before I know it's the first thing we're talking about, but what'd you think of the speech yesterday? Just kind of just initial emotions. We'll talk about the details of the speech, but just give me some initial. What do you think's?
Woohoo! Yeah, baby, America.
Yeah, it was.
Do the Trump.
It was something. It was most definitely something. In fact, come to think of it, I'm in kind of that mood right now. So why don't we go ahead and play that one real quick? Hold on, I gotta pull it up here. Where'd it go? Come on, you're right here.
Call up to the booth, have the producers fix this problem. What's going on?
Hey, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh, how I like the punk thee. That little sniper on the slope tin. He took a shot, but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all. I'm like the ever-ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpty Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpty
Trump. Yes, definitely did the Trumpty Trump last night. It was All right. So here's what I'll say, just as an analyzation of his speeches. Normally, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump's speeches, largely because he's always off script. He's always just kind of going all around and meandering. Dude, he was so on focus, even though he like would be right on script. Every single aside he did was right on point. Every single moment that he took to troll the Democrats was right where it was supposed to be. And then, it was a good mix of policy, of humor, of bragging about what he got accomplished, and trolling the Democrats. All in all, it was a win. It was a big time win. Big time win.
Yeah, I think the best laugh was when he said how old everybody was on Social Security, that we're still getting checks. Then he turned to Kennedy and he said, "Bobby, looks like we got a lot more healthy people than we thought."
It looks like America's a lot healthier than we thought. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. I very much enjoyed that one. All right. Well, you know what? We kind of already started, but let's go ahead and let's take a quick step back and let's go ahead and get a quick shout out to our sponsors so that we can officially begin the program.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can buy yourself AR barrels in pistol and rifle caliber, any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. You want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear. You want to make a big buy. You want to make a purchase for your group, for your agency. Going on over to uscombatgear.com. And coming to you live today from Lion Arms. That's lionarmsusa.com, lionarmsusa.com. Go on their website, take a look, find something you like, give them a call, tell them you saw us on the rundown, and you're going to get 15% off whatever you want. That's lionarmsusa.com.
That's right. They ain't lying at Lion Arms. Fun stuff. Yeah, folks. Look, all you got to do if you want to find our sponsors, just go to the links in the description to this program, click on it, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also, want to encourage you, if you're watching us live on YouTube, if you're watching us live on Rumble, if you're watching us live on Twitter, go ahead and comment. We're following your comments, and we'll share them with the audience if we find them to be interesting. We don't have to agree with them. But we will go ahead and share them. And once again, if we disagree, we, reserve the right to mock you.
We will mock you.
We will mock you, most definitely. All right, let's go ahead and get into the program today. All right, so starting off, obviously, we're going to talk about Trump's speech. And it was really kind of interesting because, Trump really, and by all accounts, America loved what Trump had to say. And I'm not going to play this entire video clip, but I want to give you a taste of just a little bit of what went on last night and let you see some of the highlights of the speech last night, and then we'll talk about it on the flip side.
And to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Okay, hold on. I forgot I have to start that from the beginning because I said it so that we could stop in the middle and have a conversation. So I got to set it from the beginning. Here we go.
The image and the styles that you used to. My name is Trump T. It rhymes with the left.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order.
Bye, Felicia.
From the chamber.
They sent the sergeants to come get him.
Yeah, look at the guys with machine guns coming to get him. I love that.
Yeah. You see that? You're like,
created
bye.
the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded.
Ever.
Thank you.
Ever.
Thank you. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal. We are going to rediscover the unstoppable of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American fight.
Anyway, the whole point of the speech, and I thought it was phenomenal. Like I said, he had I thought it was a very good mix of being positive and talking about policy and trying to engage the Democrats while at the same time still trolling them.
Yeah. What a great job. What a great job. Some comments. Representative Green, Craig, I don't know if you could make out what he was saying, but I saw the transcript today. He was saying, "Where's my pudding? I'm looking for pudding. I need my pudding." That guy was out of it. He didn't know where he was. I don't think. I listen. I love the vice president. I love JD Vance. I think you might be a little old for the skinny suits. Let's get a regular suit. I think we should. This is my little. You listen. I'm a little hard on the Republicans too. Let's get a regular suit for this guy. And Representative Johnson, the Speaker of the House, and I know you weren't too keen on him when he came up. I love this guy and what he's doing. But tell me that guy doesn't look like a cross between Stephen Colbert and Kermit the Frog. I think he really does.
He actually does. And once again, I think I have been very, very happy to have been wrong. He's done a phenomenal job.
He's doing it. The way he stood up and kept charge of the House, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You know, the thing go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
Oh, if there had been any doubt, the fact that he kicked Congressman Green out, removed all doubt.
That's it. Yep. Gave him the warning, called in the sergeant at arms, and then the guys with the machine guns showed up. I don't know if you saw them as well. There was a Secret Service helping escort him out of the room.
I think he was worried that Elizabeth Warren may break out a bow and arrow or something and try and defend.
Pocahontas?
I thought Pocahontas would break out a bow and arrow.
I want to point out, and I said to you yesterday, that we are witnessing the demise of the elected Democrat Party. Not of Democrats, not of the Democrat Party itself, but of these elected Democrats. And to watch them yesterday prove that they do not like kids with brain cancer, right? They do not like rape victims.
Well, no, they
or
just don't
murder
like them surviving brain cancer if a Republican is the one who kind of recognizes them.
Correct. They do not like young men that achieve and get appointments to West Point. They do not like anybody that happens to be on the side of that a conservative president, a Republican president, is standing up talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about yesterday. No matter what President Trump is doing or standing for, they are going to do the opposite. And now the country sees that they hate kids with brain cancer.
Right. If Trump recognizes them, he hates them. And what's funny is Trump literally said that. No matter what if I were to stand here before you today and say that I cured a disease that would have decimated the entire country, they would still be sitting down. They would still refuse to stand and applaud. And that's in so many ways they showed a level of hate. And I can't think of it any other way. We're not talking he's talking about policy wins for America. Dude, they caught the mastermind of Abbygate and they announced it in the middle of the meeting and they couldn't bring themselves to applaud that.
Yeah, absolutely right. They're for terrorism and the death of U.S. troops. That's what they're for.
Must be because they couldn't applaud it.
I do love that they held their little placards that are so easy to Photoshop. I love that they did that.
Oh,
I love that they did that. Because now every one of them is going to be holding a placard that says, "I hate kids with brain cancer." When it gets through the Photoshop process, there'll be memes this week with it on there, guaranteed.
I guarantee you there will be memes. They already exist.
Yep.
Anyway, what's interesting about it, Mike, is that on one hand you have the American people and the position that they have and how the American people feel about the president's speech, and then you have Democrats and the media. And obviously now, if you ever wanted a confirmation or understanding as to why the Associated Press is basically persona non grata in the White House, it's because they are clear left-wing players. And here's an example. The Associated Press, Trump's address to Congress showed the country's stark partisan divide. Now, mind you, and I want to be very clear about this, 2/3 of Americans polled said they 44% said they found it very inspirational and very much supported it. And then another 22% were somewhat supportive. Only 31% had a negative reaction. 31%. Dude, 2/3 of Americans supported what he had to say. And yet the media is like, well, Trump's address to Congress showed country's stark partisan divide. There's a divide, all right, but it ain't the Republicans who are the ones at the center of this divide. Republicans happen to be where most of America is at. And think about, Mike, the issues that he talked about, right? Think about the fact that he focused on immigration, where 75% of the people wanted to see the border closed. 80% wanted to see people who, in particular, who recently came across, sent back. 2/3 want to see all illegal immigrants removed from the country. He talked about males in female sports. 85% of Americans do not want to see that. 85% of Americans. 70% of them. He talked about children being subjected to gender identity stuff and the parental rights being subverted. 70% of Americans believe that should not be happening. And on every single item that he talked about, where he basically put in place things that are going to keep that from happening, Democrats sat on their hands. They could refuse to clap. Which basically said,
85% of the country does not want to see women or men in women's sports, but 100% of Democrat elected senators and congresspeople want it.
There were two Congress members who voted to keep men out of women's sports. Just two congressmen.
Gotcha. Okay, there we go. That's 0.5%. All right, 0.5% don't like it. It's absolutely amazing to watch this. Now, there was one and I didn't catch his name. There was one older white guy at the end when they were talking about the Ukraine, who was clapping along with Trump's policies on Ukraine. And he actually stopped for a moment and looked around and realized no Democrats were clapping. And then he started clapping again. So either he was asleep and didn't know what he was supposed to be clapping for, or there is one Democrat congressman out there who's for Trump's policies on the Ukraine.
Well, it was funny because the only time they really came alive as a whole was when he talked about spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine. And when he said, well, do you want to keep it going for 5 more years? And that's when he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. It was like, Pocahontas, you want to keep it going, huh? Like, okay, so she's for ongoing war and us paying for it.
Yes. Because there's money in her pocket for doing that.
Right. Which, by the way, and just this is an aside, I have a lot of friends who are from the Slavic community. A lot of friends I have some friends who are Russian and some friends who are Ukrainian. And there are some friends who I have who are Ukrainian they are so pro-Ukrainian that these are conservative Republican Ukrainians, but they are so sold out to Ukraine that they now hate Donald Trump because Donald Trump wants to have a reasonable off-ramp for the war.
Yes, yeah, and by the way, another Slavic person who's pretty conservative as well. The Polish people are Slavs, and I told you this when this started in Crimea, 8 years ago, and let alone what's going on 2 years ago, that this is an internal civil war between Russia and the Ukraine. The Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union for the majority of the time they existed. This is internal conflict going on, and we're trying to manage. That's why this is so difficult. We're trying to manage somebody else's internal conflict.
Right. Well, and like I said, I think from the very beginning there should have been. I'm not against us helping and being involved initially, but there was never okay. What's our goal? What's the end game? So that we know what we are going towards. And if the end game was always going to be, get back what they had taken, including Crimea, including the Donbass, and everything pre-2014, I think any reasonable person would have said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Much more difficult. This is, again, because of our media, this is much more difficult than Russia invaded the Ukraine.
Yes, and I have nothing. I think they are right for wanting that. I think though, as we have said before, want in one hand and crap in the other, and see which one fills up first. There are certain realities.
This is very similar to, in 1778, 79, when we finally threw the British out of this country. Right? They came back in 1812 and said we want another shot at the title. Okay, this is very similar, and again, with the amount of time that the Brits were in control of the United States as their colonies, to Russia being in charge of the Ukraine, and then with the breakup of the Warsaw Pact, and really they had no say in it. Countries defecting and going away. At some point, again, it's about 25 years later, Russia shows up and says, "Wait a second, we need that part. We need that part right there to survive. We need the ports on our southern border." And that's when they started coming after the Ukraine again. Internal, it's civil war kind of stuff.
Well, but and a lot of this was also the whisperings of Ukraine joining NATO, and them not wanting a NATO nation right there on their front door. Anyway, all that having been said, if NATO countries had been doing their job, if they'd been doing what they're supposed to be doing and preparing for their own defense, this probably would have never happened anyway.
Right, which by the way mirrors 230 years ago, United States becoming an ally of France. So,
oh yeah, have you ever visited that website, Great French War Victories?
It's a one-page information website. Says still being under construction.
As soon as we find a great French War victory, we'll let you know.
Still under construction.
Anyway, but basically though, the whole point of this particular segment was, the reality is the media hates Donald Trump, and they're going to continue to hate Donald Trump. Although there are some individuals within the media that are at least pushing back on some of the more outrageous narratives. I saw Jake Tapper when they were trying to fact check some of the things that Trump said, and Jake Tapper's like, no, and actually provided some clarification. We're even seeing CBS News even noted how popular the president is and how popular his speech was. I think there are some in the media that are starting to wake up to the reality that people realize that they've been lying to the American people, and they're tuning out. And they're like, I'm not saying we got to love Donald Trump, but maybe we at least need to give the appearance of being fair.
Well, like you said, the 31% that disapprove across the board of Donald Trump, those are the Trump derangement syndrome sufferers. That's what they are. And one final, I'll close on this. You go wherever you want to. If the richest man in the world can wear a suit to sit in the gallery, then Zelensky could take off that damn tracksuit and put a suit on to go to the Oval Office.
He did put on. I have to say, I was shocked. The only time that I was not shocked I'm pretty sure I remember him wearing a suit to the inauguration. I was glad that he did that, but I did not expect to see Elon Musk in a suit, and he wore a suit and tie. You are 100% correct. If the richest man in the world can wear it to sit in the gallery, then Zelensky can put one on.
Yeah. Listen, Elon Musk wears a suit about as often as Adam Sandler does. Okay.
Yeah. Well, when you're the richest man in the world, who are you trying to impress? Who do you need to impress?
Exactly right. Yeah. Hey, maybe if I showed you my Mars rocket.
No. Let me show you catch my rocket with chopsticks.
Yeah. That's it.
With mechanical chopsticks, robotic chopsticks. Really.
I think he knows math. He caught a rocket ship with toothpicks or chopsticks.
I think he knows math. All right, we enough of talking about the president and the speech, but let's talk about guns. Let's talk about this push by the left, by the anti-gun left in particular, to make criminals out of those who manufacture firearms when someone takes their product and uses it in a crime. Well, we already know that Mexico is trying to sue gun manufacturers, and that was heard by the Supreme Court I think yesterday or the day before, but this week. Well, now Connecticut has introduced a bill that would do the same exact thing, that would seek to punish gun makers for crimes committed by others. Who are those others? The people who purchase their products. This is a piece here by our friend, Mr. Tom Tank Knighton. You notice his Facebook handle is now Tank Knighton. I'm like, okay. I forgot. I haven't given him crap about that. But anyway, it says here, I remember the first time I heard about a lawsuit where someone was trying to punish a firearm manufacturer for someone being shot. I thought it was the most asinine thing I had ever heard, even if the company sold directly to the individual, unless they somehow committed an illegal sale. They weren't responsible for what happened in any way. Of course, this came up Tuesday with Mexico v. Smith versus Smith & Wesson being argued before the Supreme Court. The term is proximate cause, where there should be a reasonable understanding that doing something will result in something else happening. Lawsuits like this led to the creation of the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or the PLCAA. It seems Connecticut thinks they can circumvent that. And then it goes here and it talks about their HB 7042, which basically will allow people to sue the manufacturer of firearms if their product is used in the commission of a crime. Now, Mike, what's funny is that this goes back to another lie that the left continues to sell. They say, well, people who sell other products aren't immune from either prosecution or from being sued. And my first response is always, if their product is used by someone to commit a crime, then no, they're not liable. If they did something, they can't be, for example, if someone goes, drinks, and gets in their car and drives, you can't sue the manufacturer of the vehicle because the person drove the car and killed somebody.
But that's proximate cause, Craig. They should be able to, right? They should
have known.
be
Yeah.
prosecuting McDonald's for making people fat and giving them heart disease, right?
Exactly, especially when they knew if you eat the McDonald's, because they don't control. McDonald's doesn't control what other people eat. I mean, I eat McDonald's. I don't eat it every day, and I don't eat it to excess. And guess what? I'm not fat. It's the choices that people make. Anyway, what they're trying to do is they realize that we have a right to own firearms, right? We have a right to keep and bear arms. What they believe though is people don't have a right to sell them. People don't have a right to sell ammo. People don't have a right. You don't have a right to have them anywhere you want. They are doing everything possible to circumvent and nibble around the right so that you have absolutely no. You may have the right, but you have absolutely no way to exercise that right.
Right, and this is, they've played this card many times and it continues to get shot down. Okay, so you got the right to bear arms. Okay, you don't have the right to buy arms. Okay, you don't have the right to buy ammunition. Okay, so those have been their arguments in the past. This is just another extension of that. Well, we're going to go after the gun manufacturer because the gun manufacturer is responsible for the people using the firearms illegally. Hold on, let me think about it. No, and you're going to see the Supreme Court make this decision, 7-2 probably against this.
Well, they will. I 100% agree with you. I believe that they will. It's going to be simple enough. And I think sometimes I'm thinking the reason why they keep doing this stuff and they keep proposing this stuff is they're hoping that, they'll get their majority back on the Supreme Court eventually. And they want to have lawsuits waiting in the wings, or they want to have these laws or whatever waiting in the wings. Which is, by the way, why I am sincerely hoping, and Justice Thomas is my favorite justice on the bench right now by far, but I am hoping that he, by the time his term is up, by the time Trump's term is up, I am praying that he decides to retire.
Listen, I love Justice Thomas, but I also love beer. Oh, I love beer. Give me some Kavanaugh.
Beer and Kavanaugh. There you go.
I like beer. I like beer.
I guess, but then you do realize though that liking beer will make you unfit to serve on the Supreme Court, according to Democrats, right?
Yeah, how's that worked out for Kavanaugh? No, I don't think so. I think he's doing
it worked for him. I know Kavanaugh, and you're no Kavanaugh.
That's right. He likes beer.
He likes beer, he does. Anyway, moving right along. So sanctuary city mayors decided that they were going to go to Capitol Hill and they were going to make their pitch. And what's funny is, now I want you to understand this. Check out the list of mayors that were there. You have the mayor of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York. All went to Congress to defend their sanctuary city policies, and they dared to call their cities safe. It says here, Democratic mayors of 4 major cities said Wednesday that Congress and the Trump administration are exaggerating crime committed by immigrants and attacking so-called sanctuary cities simply to score political points, as Republicans hammered the policies for shielding criminals and discouraging cooperation with federal officials. The comments came in a hearing before the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, where Republicans accused mayors of putting their cities in danger and undermining President Trump's mass deportation efforts. Republicans have repeatedly highlighted crimes committed by immigrants who crossed illegally into the U.S., with Representative James Comer opening the hearing by saying the policies only create sanctuary for criminals. But Democrat mayors Michelle Wu of Boston, Brandon Johnson of Chicago, Mike Johnson of Denver, and Eric Adams of New York pushed back hard, even as they seem to carefully avoid using the term sanctuary. Now, Mike, the one thing I wanted to make sure to point out with this, specifically what Congress was talking about, what their issue was how they refused to work with people who were in jail for committing a crime, meaning you commit a crime in Chicago, you are an illegal immigrant, and law enforcement there, the people in the jail there, will not work with federal law enforcement or the immigration to make sure that once they're done with the process there, that they go to ICE and they are deported. So in other words, they are fighting to keep criminal aliens in the United States.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let's take a look at some numbers real quick from Chicago. Chicago so far, total shot this year, 254. That means, Craig, 5 a day so far in
Yep.
Chicago. It's such a safe city. It's incredibly safe in Chicago. These numbers are all just lies. They're making up lies about how dangerous it is there. Geez, listen, if I had a brass collector in Chicago, I could make $1 million right now just trolling the streets.
Well, I think the argument that they're making is the fact that there are illegal immigrants there is not what's making it unsafe. Granted, there are many residents in Chicago who are making it unsafe. So why add to that? You know, here's the thing I know. I know that 100% of the crimes committed by illegal immigrants would not be committed if they were not in the country.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let me tell you why these four mayors went to Congress, Craig, because Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, told them, if you want to be a sanctuary city, we're going to stop sending you federal funds. That's the reason they went to Congress, for the money. They went for the money.
Right. And my attitude is if you want the money, do what you got to do. You know, you do. Stop fighting. Here's the thing. And initially, all we're talking about, once again, is criminals. Why are you shielding criminals? Why are you hiding criminals? Why are you allowing criminals? How about this? How about you save your city some money? Because these guys are criminal illegals, why not let ICE take them? Put them in federal prison. Let them serve out their term in federal prison and then deport them. Save your taxpayers some money.
Because they need these illegals to vote for them. That's why.
Well, supposedly if they are felons, which we all know that these places also generally tend to have their George Soros funded district attorneys, right? So we know that they're not really interested in solving crime or addressing crime in their communities. This we know.
Absolutely right. And we also know from USAID that all those George Soros funded things end up being a lot of American funded things, Craig.
Yes, that we also know is that now we know a lot of these things. One of the things that Doge is revealing is a lot of these things that George Soros was kind of funding, we're finding out taxpayer dollars are funding as well.
That's right.
Funny how that happens. Anyway, moving right along, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Now, several members of Congress decided that they were going to either not attend or leave the president's speech early. And here's a few of them who decided that they were going to take a selfie together. And needless to say, someone made it a point to go ahead and meme them. And a lot of them hashtag the retards. Parental advisory.
Yep, it's absolutely right. And that word's back on the table, by the way.
That word is now back on the table. Did he write an executive order for that? Retard is now you can now use that term.
He said wokeism is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Wokeism is gone.
Okay. Right. Now, you are not allowed to use it regarding those who are the mentally challenged, just Democrats and those who are dumbasses, and which is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you were talking about those signs and those placards. Why don't you go ahead and read this one for our audience?
That's right. I'm the reason Muslim men prefer goats. Yep. Goats don't talk back to you.
That is Rashida Tlaib. Yeah, there you go. And then finally, while the president did not mention our soon-to-be 51st state, Mike shared this with me yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get it up, and I wanted to make sure that we shared it today. It says here, should Canada become the 51st state? It says here, I need to know your opinions, Canada. If U.S. were to invade us, to become the 51st state, would you fight back, help the Americans invade, don't care either way? What was the winner, Mike?
Help the Americans invade by 55%. 27 did not care either way, and only 18% would fight back. My question is, Craig, what would they fight back with?
That is a good question, seeing as how they have been disarmed. Maybe they'll fight back with, maybe they'll just throw maple syrup at us.
400% tariff maple syrup? That's kind of expensive.
Well, they can't. They're not going to be able to sell it here, so they might as well just throw it at us.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Of course, it all depends. With some of the more woke members of our military might be like, "Oh, it's sticky.
It's sticky. Get it off me. It's sticky.
Get it off me. It's sticky." All right, folks. So that brings us now to the end of the program. But before we go, we got one more thing to do, and you know what that is. One more quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you got that AR in the last 5 years, you probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you could buy from them factory direct for all your AR needs. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. If you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, fire, law enforcement, security, whatever it may be, get over there and make a big purchase at uscombatgear.com. And again, coming to you live today from Lion Arms. That's lionarmsusa.com. lionarmsusa.com. Check out what they have online. Call them and get 15% off when you tell them you saw us on the rundown.
That's right, folks. Go to our website, or not go to our website. Go to the description in this program. You can find links to their websites. Go there, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the rundown that sent you. And with that, we got another show in the can. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program with your friends. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Do the trope, the trope.